For decades, Ben Shephard has been a household name in Britain. With his effortless charm, warm smile, and sharp wit, he has guided audiences through some of the nation's most beloved programs, from GMTV and Good Morning Britain to the fast-paced tension of Tipping Point and Ninja Warrior UK. And by his side through it all has been his wife, Annie Shephard. Away from the cameras, Annie has been his anchor, steady, supportive, and devoted. Together, they've been admired as one of the UK's most grounded, elegant, and inspiring couples. But now, whispers are beginning to swirl. Whispers that have the power to shatter the carefully built image of stability and devotion that Ben and Annie have shared for more than 2 decades. Is this simply idle gossip, or has Annie uncovered something that threatens to change everything? This is the story of Ben Shephard and Annie Shephard, a love story admired by millions, now facing its toughest test yet. To truly understand the gravity of what's unfolding, we must first look back at how Ben and Annie came to be one of Britain's most admired partnerships. Ben wasn't just another television presenter. From the early 2000s onwards, he built a reputation as the man who could do it all. He could handle lighthearted morning banter, deliver hard news with sensitivity, and still bring laughter to game show audiences in the evening. He became the face people trusted to wake up with. And while the nation fell in love with Ben, Annie was quietly by his side. Unlike many partners of celebrities, Annie preferred privacy. A landscape gardener by profession, she chose a life away from flashing cameras. But in doing so, she created a contrast that only deepened the admiration people felt for their marriage. Here was a man adored on screen, and yet at home he had a wife who grounded him, who reminded him of normality, and who ensured fame never overtook family. Together, they raised their 2 sons, Jack and Sam, with a determination to protect their childhood from the relentless glare of public life. They projected balance, humility, and love. And to fans, they seemed untouchable. But was that picture too perfect? In the world of television, speculation comes with the territory. Ben's career, especially during his years on Good Morning Britain, often involved him working long hours, traveling, and forming close bonds with co-hosts. Rumors of television flirtations are hardly new. Audiences often picked up on the chemistry between Ben and his female co-hosts, especially Susanna Reid and Kate Garraway. Most viewers laughed it off as innocent on-screen banter, nothing more. But in Annie's position, how many times could one dismiss these whispers? How many headlines about Ben's flirty charm could she ignore before doubt began to creep in? It wasn't until recently, according to insiders, that Annie allegedly stumbled upon something that she could not brush aside. Reports suggest that Annie discovered suspicious communications. Whether these were text messages, emails, or photographs remains uncertain, but the whispers all point to one thing: potential proof of Ben's closeness with someone outside the marriage. For Annie, this was no longer tabloid chatter. This was tangible. This was real. Imagine for a moment the shock of a woman who has built her entire adult life around trust and family, suddenly staring at evidence that calls all of it into question. For Annie, the discovery wasn't just about a husband's possible betrayal. It was about the dismantling of the foundation she believed her marriage stood on. Those close to Annie reveal she felt shaken, angry, and betrayed. But above all, she felt heartbroken. In the past, whenever faced with gossip, Ben would laugh it off with that trademark Shephard grin. His humor and charm were his shield. But this time, silence. Ben has remained notably quiet as speculation spreads, and his silence is not without consequence. In the absence of his voice, the public fills the gap with its own conclusions. Is he silent because the rumors are true, or is he silent because he's trying to protect Annie and their sons from further pain? Either way, silence has only fueled the fire. For Ben and Annie, their greatest achievement has never been television fame or a perfect garden. It has been raising their two sons. Jack and Sam have always been shielded from the limelight, their lives kept as normal as possible. But scandals like these have a cruel way of seeping into every corner. School friends, neighbors, online whispers. It becomes impossible to fully protect children from the storm of public life. Annie is said to be most devastated, not for herself, but for what this means for her boys. How do you explain to them that the father they adore may not be the man they thought? How do you preserve their innocence when the world is dissecting your family's private pain? This isn't just about a marriage, it's about reputation. Ben Shephard has long been seen as one of the good guys of British television. While many presenters have fallen victim to scandal, Ben built an image of reliability and integrity. He was the safe pair of hands ITV could trust. But reputations are fragile. All it takes is one whisper of betrayal, one headline of scandal to undo decades of goodwill. And for Annie, her reputation is not one built in studios, but in gardens and community. She is respected for her quiet strength and independence. But now, she too is pulled into a narrative she never asked for. The question everyone is now asking, is divorce inevitable? Those close to the couple suggest Annie is weighing her options. For years, she tolerated rumors because she trusted Ben. But if this time there is genuine proof, can trust ever be rebuilt? Some insiders hint that Annie has spoken privately to friends about feeling humiliated. Others say she still loves Ben deeply and wants to believe there is an explanation. What she decides in the coming weeks could determine not just the fate of their marriage, but the way the public will forever remember Ben Shephard. Make no mistake, Annie is no passive character in this story. Friends describe her as strong, intelligent, and deeply principled. She does not act rashly. She weighs her decisions carefully. If she chooses to confront Ben publicly, it will not be out of anger, but out of necessity. If she chooses to stay, it will be because she sees a path forward, not because she is weak. Annie's silence, much like Ben's, speaks volumes. What happens next will unfold under the glare of a nation that feels it knows Ben personally. He has been in Britain's living rooms for over 2 decades, and this makes the scandal feel uncomfortably close for viewers. If Annie forgives, some will see it as strength, others as naivete. If she leaves, some will applaud her courage, while others will mourn the end of an era. But one thing is certain, this story has moved beyond tabloid chatter. It has become a test of love, loyalty, and truth. At the heart of this lies a truth as old as marriage itself. Even the most admired couples are not immune to struggle. Behind every perfect photograph is a reality, and sometimes that reality is painful. Ben and Annie Shephard may be public figures, but their pain is deeply human. Trust broken, questions unanswered, futures uncertain. These are struggles familiar to many. And perhaps that is why the nation watches so closely. Because if a couple like Ben and Annie can falter, then no love story is truly safe. So where does this leave us? Right now, the Shephard's marriage hangs in the balance. Proof may exist, trust may be broken, and silence from both Ben and Annie leaves only questions. But one thing is undeniable. Whatever happens, this moment will define the rest of their story. Will they survive this storm, or is this the beginning of the end? Time and only time will reveal the truth. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to hear the latest updates on this developing story. Because trust me, this is only the beginning, and you won't want to miss what comes next.